Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. Swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Trade it in the size, you ain't trenching enough. Whoa, we do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Whoa, Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah, Nicky's. Yeah, OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, guys. We got a lot going on over there in the Middle East with Israel and everything that's going on with Iran. Some people are calling for the next 48 hours could be a COVID-like crash in the markets. Not saying that I believe that, but saying that that's definitely a possibility. Who knows what could happen, right? The markets are very uncertain, which basically means you got to be very careful. You got to be very careful in a lot of different aspects, right? One, be careful of not investing. Be careful of investing, right? Because a lot of times during those market crashes, they're the best time to buy. If you bought the COVID crash, the ultimate bottom, I mean, you made out like a bandit just 2 months later, and then probably 10x from there, right? So it's one of those things where it's like you have to be paying attention right now, even though it's hard, even though it's hard to watch this stuff, even though it's hard to watch things go down. But Bitcoin's looking really strong, right? You are seeing a lot of stuff that is down today, but Bitcoin is looking really strong. I mean, we're at 104,000, and there's possible war going on. Right. I mean, it's definitely a war going on, but it's possible other countries could be getting involved in that. Basically, it's hard to watch. But then we have some other stuff happening in the space with Kraken and Dog, right? Kraken bull posting Dog at this point, bull posting Runestones. Could they be listing Dog this week? Could they be listing it very soon? Could they be doing an airdrop to Runestone holders? So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well. But without further ado, let's get the show started. Bring my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How you feeling with all this, man?
I feel okay still, right? I feel like every day what you're gonna ask me that. I feel like the powers in the universe are trying to get me to say I'm sad, I'm depressed, I'm scared. But that's not the case still, even though there's a lot of uncertainty happening globally. I am still going to stick with this M2 global money supply. Now, do I think we get challenged possibly today to possibly knock on the door of 100K? Maybe, but that doesn't take me off of what I believe is going to happen within the next 2 to 4, maybe 6 weeks, right? I think right now is a perfect opportunity for the people that want to bring the price down to do it, right? With all these global headlines that are happening right now. So, whoever said that this could be a COVID-like crash, that could happen. But if it happens, I don't think it will be long, and it will be a quick opportunity, in my opinion. This is me talking to myself, to possibly, grab some assets at that quick bottom that happens. I'm not saying it's going to happen today. It could happen over the next week or whatever, but I don't think it lasts very long. I think it's going to be a quick opportunity to come get some and get out. If it does actually break below 100, I think it's going to take a lot to do that. But today there's a window, right? We're at 104.7, and it seems all the indicators and everything's showing that it wants to go further down. But going down to 102, 101 could be a possibility. We'll see if it breaks below that.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it'll suck if it does happen, but that crash back in March of 2020 led us to what happened in 2021, right? Maybe we need something like that to happen. Nothing good can come from that, obviously, but like maybe something that needs to happen to kind of spark the next set of cycles, the next the stimulus, the next rate cut. I'm not saying in the sense of everyone getting involved in the markets, but I'm saying in the sense of maybe we do some macro movements that encourage investing.
Yeah, that could be the case, right? We saw what happened during COVID, during that crash, and it didn't last long. And there was a lot of assistance that came through, and a lot of big entities or whales came in and said, "Hey, this is the time to take money out from the bank and buy some real estate, buy some Bitcoin, buy some gold, whatever." They look for that opportunity, right? The gap, I guess you could say. I actually watched the Phoenician, Wes Anderson film last weekend, and it was actually kind of about this, right? When there's an opportunity in the global economy, you want to take advantage of that, right? And so, we'll see what happens. Obviously, no one wants war, and no one wants to, cheer for it or anything like that. But if there is an opportunity to, be able to increase your current status from a wealth standpoint, then you want to take advantage of those because they don't come very often.
Yeah, 100%. The last one was, almost 4 years ago at this point. But Bitcoin shocking coming. Texas Reserve and Fed meeting could ignite June bump. Let's talk about that a little bit. So Fed decision drops Wednesday, June 18th at 2 p.m. With Powell press conference follows at 2:30 p.m. All eyes on rate guidance and economic outlook. That's what we're looking for, guys. We know 2 o'clock is going to be a non thing. They're not going to do anything. They're going to keep rates the same. Polymarkets is saying that. But every word that he says at 2:30 could be really, really big for us. If he says, stuff about quantitative easing, if he says anything about future rate cuts, I mean, the market's already kind of pricing in a potential no rate cut this year. So anything that could make the markets a little more forward looking in the sense of that meeting could be really big going forward. What do you think about that first before we get into the Texas Reserve?
Yeah, we just want some sort of dovish tone, right? More, I guess, a stronger dovish tone than we've had, because he's flipped a little bit here. He hasn't been really strong either way. Yes,
Yeah.
he's kind of talked, against changing their strategy and stuff like that, right? So Polymarket sticks with the 95, 98% that nothing's going to change. But if things get more choppy and more, crazy, right, then I think they will seriously be thinking towards an opportunity to stimulate the economy, right? And so we're going to see what his thoughts are on the current global situations, and see if he maybe slips up, maybe gives us some words that can hint towards what he's leaning towards and what the Fed's leaning towards, possibly for July, August, and heading into Q4.
Yeah, I kind of hope that, he says, hey, July, we're looking like a rate cut. I mean, if he says anything like that, depending on the data, possible rate cut in July. I mean, he doesn't like to surprise markets. So if he says anything like that, I mean, that's going to be pretty big. And that's just one aspect of big news that could come out in the next couple of days. But Texas Governor Abbott has until Sunday to sign or veto a Bitcoin reserve bill, SB 21. If he takes no action by the deadline, though, the bill automatically becomes law under the Texas Constitution. So he doesn't have to do anything. He can just kind of do his thing and then just kind of wait till Monday morning and we wake up and this is in the law.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like it's a strategy, right? He's like, I don't want to be the person that signs it, but I'm not going to be the person that stops it. So if something bad does happen down the line, I'll be like, I
Not on
didn't
him.
sign it. I was so busy.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't think you're going to be able to get out of that. But yeah, I think this goes through, right? This is something that
Yeah.
a lot of people has expected Texas to do. Is Texas has always been a pro Bitcoin state and
Innovation,
pro
yeah.
crypto, yeah, for the most part, right? So I see this going through. I think this is going to be bullish because Texas is the number 2 economy in the U.S., right behind California, and so this is really big. We'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see how it affects other states.
Texas is bigger than New York.
So I believe so. Whenever
Yeah.
you combine it all, yeah, I think Texas is number 2. It might be number 3, but if it is, it's going to be really close, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
They always compare Texas and California, so that's why I assume they're number 2, but could be number 3. New York, obviously, New York City has a ton of strong economy and stuff there. So
100%. The Senate will hold its final package vote on the Genesis stablecoin bill today at 4:30, making it the last vote before legislation moves to the House. So, Senator Bill Haggerty says passing the crypto stablecoin legislation will propel America's payment system into the 21st century, something we truly, truly need. Right now, the banks have a stranglehold over you and your money. If you want to do anything, I mean, I just got notification in the mail that I can't with my bank, I can't basically send over $10,000 anymore a month. And I'm like, all right, well, it's time to move to another bank, right? So the banks have a stranglehold against you and your money. And now, this Genesis bill, it changes everything because I'm going to be able to pay everything in stablecoins. So I'm not even going to have to use my bank anymore.
that's interesting. It's always been, you have to show ID whenever you deposit 10,000 or more. That was kind of an IRS law rule or whatever with the banks, but now they're saying you can't even do more than that at all. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So
it's like in a digital way. I use Cash App to cash off, right? So anytime I send money from Cash App, and this ain't even like a crypto thing. This is normal Cash App to your bank. So I can't do it. It's $5,000 a week and now $10,000 a month. And I'm like, crap. Like, what? I mean, it's not a big deal, but like that, there might be a time where I want to do that, and now I'm going to have to figure out a different way. But if the stablecoin is around, I'm not going to get my bank account at all. If I'm able to pay my Walmart bill in stablecoin, if I'm like, there's no reason for me to go to my bank at all.
yeah, you're right. And I would not be shocked if banks start to create their own digital wallets, because we talked about the wallet game kind of trying to take over the banking account game, right? Like the whole industry. And so we don't worry about that with our wallets, but now banks are giving a little pushback here. So the traditional financial system is losing power every day, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
So it's either you join the new financial system or you're going to be left behind. And the banks that do join are going to be the ones that I think have their own wallet specifically for their bank and all that stuff. And there's going to be new brands of banks, if you will, probably, and if wallets do kind of take over bank accounts.
Yeah, 100%. So any last words before we move on here about the Bitcoin Inc. shock incoming, Texas Reserve Fed meeting, Ignite, June pump? I mean, we haven't talked about the pump.
Well, look, it doesn't look great right now. It looks pretty bloody, but at the same time, remember that we were at 82,000 in early April, I want to say, late March, early April, right? And so we come all the way up from there, and we still have some ways to go, in my opinion, to finish off the M2 money supply, right? And so I think this is just going to be a pullback that's, an opportunity for the markets to kind of swing back down temporarily, and we will carry on. Look, June has historically not been the best month for crypto in general, right? So we're kind of getting through June, but they got 2 weeks, in my opinion, to kind of mess with us, right? Scare people out of these longs, make people bearish a bit on Bitcoin, and then I honestly continually believe that we will have that leg up to 130. However long that takes, if it takes 2 weeks, 4 weeks, or 6 weeks, I think we get there. Then I think like the money supply kind of tapers off a bit in the chart. It does continue on, but we'll see. We'll see how the rest of this month goes. I would just say, for me specifically, I am not panicking at all. I'm actually looking at this as a juicy opportunity.
Let's go. Let's get it. Yeah, man. 100%. I get 100% agree. Moving along here though, gold price nears its all-time high of 3,500. So we have come down a little bit since then, and we're at about 33.85. Let me actually show this chart because it's really interesting because it's kind of like, gold kind of lags, Bitcoin kind of lags gold at the same time, right? So you've seen, gold had this crazy upward momentum, and then right up here, right around, I want to say what back here, we kind of seen Bitcoin start to push up a little bit during this part, and then gold and Bitcoin kind of ran together, and now we're kind of seeing this this downward pressure here. I'm on the hourly. Let's jump to the daily. That will actually show my point a little better. But yeah, so you're seeing gold now kind of it wants to kind of take off here again. What do you think about gold and potentially Bitcoin kind of following it here?
Yeah, it does tail it, but I think it there's multiple different tools that you can use, right? You can use gold as like your leading indicator, the M2 global money supply, the hash rate. So there's multiple things that are kind of pointing to it. And then you just go back to the good old trading view and you zoom out and you put on the weekly chart, right? And then you correlate that with the daily chart, and all these things start to line up. Then you're kind of like, okay, I'm getting confirmation here, confirmation there, confirmation here. Okay, next 2 to 4, 6 weeks, we're going up, right? So that's you got to look at these as tools. But for me specifically, what I want to do is I want to get multiple resources that multiple people respectable people use, kind of bring those into the same house and say, are these all telling me the same story? And if they are, then I feel okay. And that's why every morning when you ask me, man, how are you feeling? Bitcoin's pulled back. I'm okay. Until that story gets muddied, and I'm like, okay, I don't know where it's I feel like I don't know where the next month is going to be, that kind of situation. Obviously global events can change, but that's why they call them black swan events. We're kind of in one, but we're also seeing Bitcoin get punched in the gut by them and taking these gut punches, as opposed to 2022 when it couldn't handle those gut punches, right? Because we were in the bear market. So
yeah, 100%. I think that gold in a war case scenario, gold goes higher. Gold and oil fly up, right? Can Bitcoin be that? And if so, can Ethereum, Solana, and the rest of them kind of follow Bitcoin, or where they get kind of hit like the stocks?
I think Bitcoin definitely can be that. We'll see that, and we have kind of seen that through like some of the economic turmoil that we've gone through, tariffs and stuff. But gold is old faithful, right? You got the old money that the countries, they know gold has always been able to perform for them, so that's what they're going to go to first. Bitcoin's this new digital gold, right? So they're getting used to that. But I 100% know, well, I feel like I know that it's going to follow suit in those type of trends. Now, when you get to the others, or not the others, the blue chips, and there's only a couple like that I think will follow the trajectory of Bitcoin, the cycle, or in the future. I think maybe a couple more, but you're talking about the Ethereums, maybe Solana's, XRPs, those types. But I would not even include those if you're trying to be conservative and safe right now, right? It's Bitcoin is what we know will continually go up, and that's where BlackRock has their hands in the cookie jar. Saylor has his hands in the cookie jar. A lot of these entities and businesses that aren't typically Web3 too are starting to pick up Bitcoin, right, as kind of like a security plan. So I do think Bitcoin does follow gold, but gold will always have that first, I think, kind of safety feeling for these countries and entities to go there first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And then potentially how younger guys are, right? So, and then see what they do as well. So, but yeah, James Wynn says we will have some kind of COVID-like black swan event within the next 48 hours as we're escalated. So James Wynn has been somebody who was talked about a lot, kind of reserved at this point, but he does seem to be in the know a little bit. So this is the only reason why we were talking about this earlier today, is because of this comment right here. I actually think he's wrong. He's been wrong a lot lately, especially on his Bitcoin analysis. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to bring this up though, and just kind of get your opinions on this before we kind of get out of this completely.
Yeah, I hit on this a little bit in the beginning, but I think that there's a possibility that we could see Bitcoin drop below 100K, if there's like a bunch of bad news just coming out of what's happening right there in the Middle East, right? And then you hear the fear and stuff. So if it bounces below 100,000, my mind of, okay, you know, the M2 supply is everything right now, I kind of do take a step back and I say, how far does it go? How long do they let it? Because now I'm trying to see, you know, is this a flash in the pan type of, you know, black swan situation? Because again, I do think that it wouldn't last long, but I've been wrong before, right? Many times before. So my idea would be kind of just stepping back and kind of hitting reset on my mind a bit, knowing that, you know, I still have the M2 there, and seeing, okay, how far are they going to let this go back? Because I think if that happens, if it gets to 95,000, 93,000, my whole goal would be like, where does the bleeding stop? And I get confirmation where that bleeding stopped, I'm immediately going to start, like, that's where I picked up assets again.
Yeah, 100%. And then you got to take a step back though and kind of watch what the markets are doing, right? Because if let's just say the S&P drops 100 points and Bitcoin's going sideways, what do you do in that situation?
Well, you know that the global macro situation is not great, because, you know, S&P typically follows that. You know, Bitcoin typically follows S&P, but Bitcoin's done its own thing and gotten through this tariff situation a bit, just kind of like a, you know, Marshawn Lynch, just getting through all the arm tackles and stuff. And so hesitant, yes, but also is it picking back up? Is it following that trajectory of the M2 global supply, the hash rate, these kind of indicators that we use? And if it is, then, you know, maybe play it in a safe way that way, right? But you know, it's all, sometimes it's best to do nothing but observe and try to figure out what's happening with Bitcoin. You know, where does it want to go? Because we know that it still has upward trajectory to go. We just don't know, you know, when that's going to turn back on, how it's going to be, how long it's going to be affected by the global news, that type of situation. So yeah, just, it's really, for me, I'm actually not, I put into cash recently. I want to say like yesterday, honestly, early yesterday. Not all, I have stuff like my runes there, I'm leaving those, but I'm mostly into cash right now because I want to see like how much of an effect the tensions are going to have on Bitcoin right now, because it going down to me is an opportunity, but you got to be patient and let that actually become an opportunity, because if you get antsy and you jump the gun, it could go down another 10%, you know, and we'll see.
No, 100%. I agree. Let's kind of get into some charts here. So Colin Talks Crypto had this pretty amazing chart. It's a reverse head and shoulders. So Colin, we do know he's believing in the money supply chart, but he also has other stuff that's happening too. And this is a beautiful. I mean, you really can't get more textbook than this head and shoulders that's kind of playing out right here. Ben, he's saying that when this kind of gets back to this 112, that we're going to take off to about 148. And if you look here, if you take this up right here, this is July right here. So he's saying that this upward momentum could be happening right in the beginning of July. That could take us to 140 before August. Like this line right here is, let's just say this line right here is August. So he's saying first week, second week of July, we are above 148.
Absolutely, that plays exactly, not exactly to a T, you know, because I think 148 is a bit too high, but it definitely could have an extended push up there. But I'm thinking more between 120 and 130, and I said next 2 weeks to 4 weeks, possibly 6 weeks, right? That gives me a pretty big time frame there. You're talking about the beginning of July to, I guess, well, I would say 4 weeks, probably the middle of July. Right. So I think I agree with him on that. Like, you know, a lot of the stuff I get from this, his analysis too, he's really good about, you know, the M2 supply and all that stuff that I love to use. And so I think that's definitely a possible situation. I think it's probable, actually. I think it's probable. But after that, what happens, right? Do we see another pullback in between, you know, August and September? I think so, just because that's kind of how the game we play, right? When we're playing, you know, the pendulum swinging back and forth. And so, but at the end of the day, you look at it, we just hit all-time highs with global supply today, didn't we? So, you know, I think Q4 should be pretty good.
Yeah, and this could get pretty out of control if there is a war. I mean, you could potentially see this number potentially shoot up, rocket. If the M2 money supply absolutely go nuts. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's enough from Colin here. But jump on to someone else who I truly respect, and that person is Bob Loukas. So Bob Loukas puts out his own super cycle. So if he says he's hearing a lot of people talk about super cycle, and he wants to show what he thinks a super cycle would look at, and I would love to get your opinion on this. So let me actually show it to you and explain it to you what's going on here. So this is Bob Loukas' super cycle, right? So this super cycle goes all the way into 2032. So this back here is 2032, right? So this is about 2031, and he's saying a super cycle to him would look like an upward momentum. Probably about mid 2026, we hit the high of 300k, right? And then come back down to about 160, 140. And then, no bear market though. That would be the low of this upcoming super cycle, and then jump all the way up to about 700k, and the 700k would still be in Plan B's thing here. It would put about December 2026, maybe early 2027. Maybe I'm wrong here. Yeah, I am wrong here. Early 2028, it looks like. So would be the top there at 700k, and then you got to remember, like the halving, that's a halving year. So we can go down all halving year and get to about back to about 160 by 2031, 2032 here. But what do you think about this and potential super cycle scenario? We are hitting 700k, but it will take until January of 2028.
I don't know, man. That's pretty far out. But one thing that I think he's probably got right about his chart is I don't think we're going to see too much of these huge drastic drops after the 4-year cycle. So the super cycle is going to be kind of the new norm, and at that point it won't be considered a super cycle in 2030, right? It'll be more of this is how Bitcoin goes, right? It's kind of like gold, and then like when it gets bullish, people will kind of know like the macro situation that will propel it, just like gold, right? Now it could be, we could have hyper Bitcoinization, right? And that's whenever the supply and demand is just so like pressed, basically, right? And so that's the difference between Bitcoin and gold is, gold, we don't know what the finite supply is. Bitcoin has a finite supply. So that's where I think this can really advance quicker. But, the pullbacks that we saw from the previous, cycles, I think that probably is gone. And so we're gonna have to really learn and adjust to how these how our industry is going to play out. You know what I mean, for the future. How do these mid caps play out? How many of these micro caps disappear, and mid caps, to be fair too? And what is going to be the test of time for them? What's gonna be? And I think it's something like Jeff mentioned yesterday on the show. Having a legitimate business model, if you're a blockchain, or ways that businesses and entities can create revenue via you or your assets or whatever. I think that's what's going to keep the alt markets going. But it's going to be a different world, I think, and it's weird because it's not like instantaneous. It's kind of like over time that it's going to happen. But when we look back, I think 5 years from now, we're going to be like, wow, man, our space has changed so much. It's like, I think it's going to be a lot more legitimate, solidified, formidable, all those good words you want to put in there to make it strong, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And it's going to be interesting to see. But going back to 200k in 2030, that might hurt, especially if you're coming back from like a 640, 700,000.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be that's tough to see, right? But I can definitely see up until this point. I think Bob Loukas is could be up in here, and I would still feel right if we hit 700k before the next halving. I would still feel like my number hit. I feel like I said, in this cycle, and cycle is from halving to halving, that we're gonna hit 700k. I would still feel like I was right hitting that 700k by January. Do you agree?
I don't agree, because that cycle to me is the 4-year cycle from bull run to bull run.
No, 4-year cycle is from halving to halving. It's always been. That's a 4-year cycle. We go through the highs to the lows and then back up.
Well, the year of the bull run's like always been consistent, pretty much, and it's always the year post halving. And
Well,
so that's what the
2017, the highs hit in 20,
January,
so in January
but
2018.
but that run up started in December of
But if
2017.
it peaked in January 2018.
I don't count that, but it
It
is
hit
what it is.
20K.
It's kind of
Yeah.
whoever's like whatever your perspective is. Most of that like benefit came in December, in my opinion. But if you want to count 2018, that's fine. But even if so, then you would say 2026 would be the end of it. You know what I mean? Because then the top would hit
No,
in
well,
2026, January, right?
well, no. I mean, a cycle is a cycle. A cycle is between having to having.
But that's not how the industry has played it previously. Is what I'm trying to say. They've
No, it
always
has.
played.
It has.
They've always played it to where the halving happens, right? And then you have the year of the halving. Then the post year of the halving is whenever people cash out at the top, whether that you count it at the end of that year or the beginning of the following year, and then it's bear market starts.
I mean, yeah, but you're just congesting it, right? Like, I mean, for instance, like a full cycle would be 4 years, right? So if you begin 4 years at the very first Bitcoin and then go 4 years to that point, that's 2008 2008 to 2012, 2012 to 2016, 2016 to 2020, 2020 to 2024. That's how, if you ask any Bitcoin,
2020 to 2024 and 2024 to, you're saying 2024 to 28.
Yeah. That's a normal. That's what you would call a cycle. So I think I would still feel correct here.
Taking the profit in the last 2 years is not typical, other than like the very beginning of that third year, I guess. But yeah. I mean, it would just feel different, is what I'm saying, I guess. But technically, in the cycle terms, yeah, sure.
Yeah, man. So but I just can't agree with this. I definitely agree with I just can't agree with this part. I mean, it's possible, right? This is where Sailor starts taking profit or something, right? And that could cause that, right? People getting scared because Sailor has, let's say he has 1 million Bitcoin at that point, right? Which is definitely possible. I mean, we're talking 2028 from here. So but yeah, man. Definitely fun to talk about there, Bob. I appreciate what Bob Loukas does. But let's jump into some not so fun news. So multiple crypto platforms, BullX, PumpFun, GMGM, and more have been suspended on X. Users are left in the dark about the reasons, fueling concern and speculation in the crypto community. I absolutely love what happened yesterday because I am not a fan PumpFun and the rest of these casinos on Solana and other places as well, but mainly Solana. And you actually gave me a really good response this morning about why this happened, because I didn't know I did. I really didn't do a lot of research into it either. But like, could you kind of explain what happened here and what is the speculation about, like what happens next?
Yeah, so the word on crypto Twitter, there's a lot of words on crypto Twitter. Now, the word on crypto Twitter is that the PumpFun X account was utilizing a non-official X third-party API to, have automated posts on people, or automated comments on people's posts, and automation basically, right? And to get that access, the official one, it costs $100,000, I believe, a year, maybe. I might have that incorrect, but that is typically what the cost is. And they basically got their API off the black market that had some developer develop it, I guess, and they were getting away with it. Which, this API was used to really just spam all the big accounts and kind of work with the KOLs to get these tokens going. And so it was almost like, not only did they kind of cheat the system that way, which, okay, fine, like they used an API to do that. There's people that do that, right? But then now they've worked their way around of paying X the $100,000 API fee a year. And I think that's going to be really hard to come back from, because now Elon feels cheated. And I know it's probably coming from his executive group, right? But I'm sure if he heard about that, he probably would be pissed, right? He's a frugal guy, probably, even though he has so much money. But it's all about revenue for X, and skipping out on $100,000 API fee is a lot of money. And now what I'm hearing is most of these places kind of did that, right? So they did a workaround. So it's gonna be interesting to see if they come back on crypto Twitter, because I'm not sure if PumpFun can survive without crypto Twitter. It's gonna be really tough. That's obviously they had a strategy behind this, right? So, whatever you feel about PumpFun. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm in the camp with you. I think that it was a very cancerous platform that only extracted liquidity. And when I say that, I mean, if you look at the fees, I think they sold $791 million worth of SOL through Kraken, and it was all PumpFun fees. And they have more, by the way, that they didn't sell. And then you have people that are like upset. I posted something about it. I knew it was going to get, people riled up. And people are upset about it because they say, you must be been a horrible trader. This is like the most skilled trading casino that we have. Yeah, dude, it's not skilled whenever you have, 20 people in your group and you guys are colluding to pump a price up of a token, and you have all these tools to really, suck the liquidity out by selling it all on these people that possibly were trying to onboard to crypto and heard about like an opportunity because PumpFun made people millionaires, right? And they had the worst experience of their life the first time they did it, and they'll never come back again, right? So that's not good for the space, in my opinion, right? Now, that's my opinion. And again, everybody's entitled to their own. But let's put that to the side. Just think about the amount of fees that like Elon and his team has extracted from the space. You're talking about almost $1 billion worth of fees that they've sold down. Never did any givebacks in terms of airdrops or anything like that. Yeah, they're preparing for some sort of raise, which is even more of a spit in the face, in my opinion, because you have to raise $2 billion to give back. Eventually, they did do the creator fees because they saw Believe Launchpad doing a creator fee thing, so they realized that they had to compete there. So there's a lot of stuff that was just really, in my opinion, just eating at the space. And then you have people like Ansem and stuff saying, bring PumpFun back. And yeah, well, he benefited from that, right? Like a ton. Yeah. And so, of course, they want it back. That's how you keep them rich, right? And they look at this differently than, Citadel having the dark pools and stuff. But it's not. It's the same thing. It's just you're colluding with groups of people now that are not a part of corporations that have, taken over the space from a market, the stock market that's been around for over 100 years, right? So that's why I think if this stays away, I think it's better for the space overall.
Yeah, but let's be fair a little bit and say they did create something that was heavily utilized. All right, they did create something that created tons of money for themselves, right? So yeah, I do agree with you on a lot of your points, but they did create something absolutely that we needed, because before that it was hard to create coins for the average person. It was hard to create anything without really knowing how to code, especially before AI. But to your point, though, they were this machine that just completely took all the utility away from the space, right? Like all the money was going into these trash coins that couldn't do anything, didn't want to do anything, really made our space take a step back, right? But you can do that when you create something like that, but they never ever really took it to the next level, something like the Believe app has done, right? So you didn't really add the utility factor, and they didn't want to. They were happy with their casino, they're happy with the money making, but again, not paying Elon his $100,000 when you're making $720 million in a year is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And now, I guess my next question for you is, do you think that they will go through with the raise now that this happened, or do you think this is like a non-issue for them?
I hope that it just stops everything with that, right? But we'll see, because money can make things happen, right? And so I hope it kind of goes away. Look, there's going to be somebody that launches something else too. When Ethereum was around, the people that had the edge were the people that knew how to Solidity and wrote contracts or copy the contracts, launched them, told their friends about them, and they got in early. So it's not like this is like a brand new kind of extraction experience from the space. It's just amplified by 1,000, I feel like, because it's so easy to launch them now. And then like you have tools, you can pay money to get tools that allow you to snipe and all these things. And it's just it got to a point to it was just so extractive that like it didn't, people that wanted to come into the space didn't want anything to do with it. That I feel like it was the same dumb money that kept going back to the well there, right? And maybe they would hit one. Maybe they'd hit one and they make like $10,000 after losing like, like 20, 30 or whatever, and something like that. But then it's like I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But there will be something different that probably tries to attempt, to extract. But we'll see what that is, and hopefully there's more substance to the space. That's what we need. We need more substance, and you can make money and have substance at the same time, meaning like making the world giving the world substance out of your project or whatever you represent. And we just need more of that.
So I guess my only argument with that is, would you consider it a casino substance or no? Like a real casino, like go like to the world.
I wouldn't, but that's why there's a lot of strict regulations with it, right?
Yeah,
There's states that, like in Texas, you can't have a casino. That's the problem with the owners of the Dallas Mavericks, and that's why I have a conspiracy theory that's why I think they got rid of Loukas is because they were trying to actually create a new Dallas Mavericks arena that had slot machines in it and tables actually, and so
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and so they haven't been able to get that passed, and I think there's states that don't allow it. There's some states that do, but you always see kind of there's like not necessarily like a positive connotation to casinos, right? Las Vegas is a little different. It's kind of like the adult Disney World, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I'm gonna go to Las Vegas for my 40th birthday. You go there and then you go home, right? After that experience. But like, there's a reason why states don't have them everywhere, and I feel like it is because there's a negative connotation. Sometimes they say it brings like a lot of homelessness, it brings riffraff, like crime. That's the reason why Texas doesn't want to have them, right? And I think that's I think casino's perfect way to compare PumpFun in parts of our space. And I just think that's not necessarily like, you don't want to compare like a casino to like the finest, like strongest banks in the world, or like the Swiss bank or something, you know what I mean? And I think that's where we're starting to separate things. And eventually I've always had this theory that side of our space will get kind of pushed into a corner, right? I think collectibles and stuff, that's fine. That would be kind of like this middle ground. Like, whenever you collect, it's like a hobby, right? Like if it's cards that you collect, or digital assets that you collect and trade or sell or buy, kind of flip. But when it comes to this constant, hoping to hit like one I think the odds were so wild. It was something like, I gotta look it up again. Someone posted it, but it's like you have a better chance of hitting lotto tickets than hitting like a 100x or a 50x. Like
yeah. I 100% agree. Yeah, man. All right, let's jump to the next segment here. It's the crypto fear and greed. So last week we were at a 64. Yesterday we were at 51. You said something yesterday, and I think you were right about what the number would be today. So give you that hint, but we are a little higher than that 51.
54?
Right there, 53. I'll give it to you. But yeah, so you yesterday, I think you said you think it would be around 53, 54, 55, and we're right at 53. So what are you thinking here? What are you thinking for tomorrow? I'm thinking we head back down in the 40s.
Yeah,
especially with how much uncertainty we have right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. And so yesterday I feel like there was Trump's tweet. What it was, it might have not been a tweet. It might have been True Social, where he came out and said, "Everybody evacuate Tehran," right?
Yes.
And the price started to go down immediately. I didn't expect that post to come out, and so I think it was probably more intense yesterday than what we'll see. I mean, the indicators and everything are showing that we're going to continually go down, but we probably will bleed slowly out. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hang around 50, high 40s, maybe.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm right there with you. I'm expecting 44 to 46 tomorrow. I mean, that's kind of, I hope not, but that's kind of how I feel. I think we're going to have not a great week. I do think Jerome's going to say something tomorrow at 2:30 that will make Thursday and Friday bullish. Saturday maybe sideways, and then Sunday we might get a really nice push up, especially if we get a headline like ceasefire or remember too, we got a lot of deals that need to happen before July 1st in the sense of tariffs, right? No one's talking about that anymore, but you can see a lot of those kind of make way as well because that July 1st deadline is approaching. So I'm actually expecting next week to be really bullish, but I might have another sideways day today and maybe a red day up until 2:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's weird that we take our focus off of that and go to something that actually brings the market down even worse.
100%. All right, let's jump to the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are building something truly special, in my opinion. They're building a Bitcoin leverage trading platform on L2, right? On a Bitcoin L2. So they're building for Bitcoin here, guys. They're going to be using Botonix and Hemi. Let's first go into Botonix. Botonix is the spider chain. They're going to be building there first. And building there, the rumor is the chain is going to be incentivized. Incentivized how, you might ask? Well, that's for you to find out by using Artura.finance on Botonix. Not only will be earning the ARA token, but potentially something from Botonix as well. And then you got Hemi. Hemi is backed by Binance. Hemi is going to be a big deal, in my opinion. But, who knows, right? But they are dropping a token, airdropping a token. They will be airdropping the Hemi token. So they're going to be incentivizing their chain that way. And that's just kind of what I'm thinking, because normally what happens is when you're backed by Binance, they want a token, right? So you're going to see that potentially. But not only potentially that, but you will also be getting the ARA token by using Artura.finance on Hemi. So definitely want to air farm that, guys, and get as much as you possibly can. And low leverage, low money can do that for you guys. So definitely check out Artura.finance. Should be, we actually have Aiden on the show in about 15 minutes. So he's going to break down exactly potentially when you guys will be able to do that.
Exactly, and it's I'm excited for what those guys are going to be bringing here very, very shortly. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, if you could help us out on the YouTube side, smash that like. You guys have been helping us a lot on that side, and we appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live, so you don't miss a single minute of the show. And then on the X side, make sure you share the space as well, guys. We want to onboard and educate as many people that are trying to get into our industry as possible. Same thing goes for the Abstract channel. If you could share that stream, we would greatly appreciate it. But let's jump into some Bitcoin price action here. Bam. All right, let's take a look, guys. It is not looking good out here. Cheers. Yeah, you can see yesterday we actually made it all the way up to that 109 price point, right? And then we have almost basically taken back all those gains. You can see we're hovering around 104,561. This is the hour chart, so it's going to give us a little insight on possibly the next 4 or 6 hours of today. It is looking like it wants to bleed out, guys. You can see here the MACD looks like it has strong sell pressure showing. Every bar is a little bit bigger than the last, and it's you can see the leading blue indicator line too is kind of pointing. It's not pointing straight down, but it is pointing down for sure. The stochastics looks like it wants to not go anywhere. This actually looks like it's flat down here. It's at a negative 0.00 score. So yeah, it doesn't look great. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. I do feel like we're going to probably bleed out further. You can see the support and resistance battling at this price point that we are at right now. And then below that, resistance has advantage. Above that, resistance has advantage at 104,650. Above that, resistance has advantage, a big advantage at 104,800. So we don't really get back to competing in terms of support and resistance until right here at like 105,860. Now some big, huge, large bids could come in, buy bids and kind of jump us up, but yeah, it's probably going to be a slow bleed out a little bit. So I think the biggest thing I'm looking for today is how do we respond at like the 102 levels if we get there? If we get to 102, that's been the support level for us pretty much of June. I think we visited 102 maybe 2 times, but we've responded pretty well. I think maybe we dipped barely below 102 once and then responded very well. So if we break below that support level of 102,000, I think we got to be thinking, where is that next, destination that we're going to be heading, because we'll be breaking below 100,000. My initial thought was probably not last down there, very long jump back above, but we'll see how it plays out. I am expecting a bleed out for the rest of today, though. Unfortunately, that's what I see. I look at it as opportunity, though, because I'm trying to see where this is going to chill out. I still believe that M2's global supply is really going to lead us back. So we'll see. All right, so that's what the hour chart looks like for pretty much the rest of today. The 4 hour is starting to give confirmation to that. You can see here that we have developed our first sell pressure candle on the MACD. And one thing I started noticing is that, like, once you start to lose a bit of this momentum on the MACD, on the 4 hour candle at least, it starts to turn a little bit light. That's kind of when that descent really starts. Now there's situations like this to where, you know, you could kind of look like it's exhausting and then it starts again, maybe by some bullish news or something. But I'm expecting, this is a part of the reason why I'm expecting us to get to 102. We're gonna, this is my favorite time frame, the 4 hour chart, because it does give me a 2 to 3 day forecast. But more than that, I feel like it's like one of the best to use my leading indicators for. I'm starting to really learn it well in terms of, okay, we're starting to come down. If we actually do see a red candle form, then we'll probably see like a decently strong leg down. We'll see if this continues. If it does, you know, we could see a continuation, like I said, to 102 over the next couple days, 101. We'll see how that responds. Tomorrow could change everything, though. You know, like you mentioned, if Powell does sound dovish and sounds like he wants to take us in a more risk-on environment, that will change the outlook. But yeah, that is what I'm seeing here, guys, on the 4 hour chart. So, you know, if the 1 hour plays out like I think, then look, and also too, unless there's going to be a huge like COVID, like, you know, dump, one type dump, then getting to 102 doesn't mean we're automatically going to get to 98 or 96. We could be ranging between 102 and 104 for a bit, right? And still be in red on the 4 hour just because we're ranging back and forth, right? So I think that's what I'm going to be really, really focusing on is trying to take advantage of this opportunity of the sell down, but not trying to get ahead of myself, right? Because you can definitely get in too early. All right, so taking a look here at the weekly chart. So this was my favorite chart. I'm kind of sad because it's starting to look a little sad. You know, it does show a little exhaustion here. I'm not too worried yet. I'm really hoping that we have something similar to this right here. If you see this kind of this situation. So if we have, you know, some choppy the rest of this week, maybe next week, and then we start our that next ascent in early July, that could look like something like this, right? I don't want to see this right here replicated here. I don't want to see that. Obviously, no one wants to see that, right? But it could happen. I really feel like I'm doubtful that it will, because again, I'm still sticking to my guns with what I've been using to kind of get me here. And I think that we still have, you know, that liquidity supply that's still showing that we have some more time up to go. But I'm, like I said, I'm not too worried. This right here, the indicators are showing exhaustion, but we could see something like this. This would be perfect. It's exactly what I want to see here. So I would sacrifice this week and next week for this right here, right in July. I'm okay with that. And I think most people would be too. So that's what I'm seeing on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the others. It's not going to look good, guys. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's the others. Yeah, it's not going to look good. This is dead, but you know, the others is everything besides Bitcoin and the top 10. So kind of expected, right? Bitcoin's not looking good. So the others, the mid caps, the rest of the blue chips and the micro caps are going to go down even more than what we're seeing with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So yeah, it's kind of hanging tight, kind of seeing where Bitcoin takes us. And then maybe Ethereum decides, hey, I want to do my own thing, but we'll see how long that takes. So looking okay here, honestly. It's just like there's nothing else I could say except for we're kind of waiting for Bitcoin's move here, and that will affect the others. But let's take a look at the crypto bubbles. Bam! Looking very red, of course. Let's look at some notables here. Let's get to the top 100.
You know, Arrow could be something to really look into there. Airdrop's being put on Coinbase. It's down 14% today. I was actually thinking about potentially taking a position there. But yeah, that's on that other side.
What do they What are they about?
They're just a Uniswap V3, but they're basically
Oh,
Coinbase's.
they're gonna take Coinbase, basically Coinbase's pancake swap, basically, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that could actually be really big because they're gonna push volume for sure.
Yeah.
All right, taking a look at some notables here. Tron down 2.8%. Man, Tron doesn't perform like it did last cycle whenever things were hurting because they're making Justin Sun's making a lot of strong moves, honestly. Pancake swap is down 7.8%. Tau, wow, big gut punch for Tau, down 11.2%.
That's actually surprising, man. That's really surprising.
Yeah, ICP down 8.4%, MakerDAO down 9.4%. SPX, the one of the largest meme coins on Solana, is down 11.9%. Where's our guy Fartcoin? Fartcoin is usually easy to find, but the past couple of days has been like
Top right under VET. Under ETH, yeah.
Down 8.9%. Trump down 5.2%. Lido down 8.3%. Pepe down a whopping 12.9%. Ondo down 10.6%. So it's just going hand in hand now. Hype down 11.2%. Memes and utility just getting throttled right now. Let's take a look at the 101 through 200 here. You got Turbo, another meme coin from Arbitrum, down 10.9%. ZBCN down 14.7%. Sorry, Courtney Johnson, but ZBCN has actually been performing decently when things are hot. White is down 21.7. This thing like thrives and it dies like really hard, right? So
yeah. Do you notice though it's off page 1 now? It's on page 2.
Yeah, that's true. So the market cap's been hit in the gut there too, and then I always have a problem finding our guy Dog too, man. It's Dog and Fartcoin.
Dog is
right
the
here.
middle. Yeah, there you go.
You got Dog down 8.9%. Not too much to worry about. Pith down 9.3%. Pith is a competitor to Chainlink, right? ApeCoin down 3.7%. Kato down 4.7%. Barachain down 9.1%. And I think that's going to wrap up the notables here, guys.
Yeah,
so
let's get rid of this. We're losing viewers.
Yeah. We're losing it. We're losing it.
But yeah, it's not looking good. But what happens?
We'll get better
next. Yeah, hopefully, man. Hopefully. Let's jump in the roll call. Let's get into your comments. So every single day we take a look at the comments around this time, and we kind of go through one by one. If you have never made roll call, please make roll call. I would love to give you guys a shout out. I know a lot of you guys are at work with an earpiece in your ear. That used to be my old life as well, and I know these shows got me through my day. So I appreciate you guys listening. But let's kind of jump into the first is first here. So if you don't know what this is, every single day, the first comment of the YouTube, because YouTube is the first platform that actually shows comments, we take that first comment and we put it on a spreadsheet, and we kind of calculate who is going to win a Bitcoin frog. Guess we're giving away a Bitcoin frog right now, valued between $700 and $800. And it looks like Lackey, Lukey, and Danny are actually fighting for their lives here. Danny Boy got first place yesterday. Lackey Lukey tied it today. So we have a tie right now on first and second. And we don't know what we're going to do in the midst of a tie. So we hope it doesn't happen. But potentially we could do something. Maybe we'll split up the first and second prize and do something cool there. But we are giving away 3 prizes. The first one is the Bitcoin frog. We don't know what prize 2 and 3 are yet. We'll be letting you guys know what prize 2 is probably in the fall, and prize 3 we'll let you guys know in the winter, the closer to December. So we'll let you guys know. But potentially we might be doing something awesome for every single person who makes this list. So definitely want to be on this list if you can. But shout out to Lackey, Lukey, and Danny Boy tied for first place. But let's kind of get into the rest of the comments here. We had Matt's. Shout out to Matt's is here. Choda is here. Choda's at third. This is the closest I've ever got in roll call. Shout out to Choda, man. Appreciate you, my friend. Lackey Lukey says congrats, Choda. So that's pretty cool. Matt says congrats, Choda. Can't beat Lackey Lukey with 360. I don't know how you do it, Lackey. I really don't, man. Webdro is here. Shout out to Webdro. He said back on top. Congrats, Lackey. Danny Boy says GM. 1+ is here every single day, man. Really appreciate you. You remember those pills? What that was Beyond, right? Beyond did that. Yeah. But yeah, shout out to you. Diamond Tears, Diamond Hands. Yeah, I mean, it's a part of the game. 100. I love that. Diamond Tears, Diamond Hands. Lucky Luke says GM, thanks, guys. Webdro says, damn, Danny and Lackey at the top means I'm in second. Yeah, that is true. You do become in second when there's a tie for first, I think. Or no, I think you say third, right? If there's a
For
tie
what?
for first, you're still third.
If you're tied for first, why would you not be second?
No, I'm just saying if Lackey, Lukey, and Danny are tied for first, would WebJoe be second or would he be third?
Oh yeah, he'd be third.
Yeah. Cash Cats is here. Shout out to Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out to Cash Cats, man. Our guys. Sheesh. Got to be lurking while working. Yes. Love it, bro. Love that. Hydro Sapien, man. We love your comments, dude. You are absolutely awesome. Very consistent. We appreciate you here each and every day, man. Absolutely awesome. And then we got Chief Axel, one of our legends, man. Appreciate you, my friend. Dumpo is here. He says, GM, nice seeing Shizzy trying Hypermall. Hope we get opinions too. So I'm going to do a tutorial video. I'll probably end up doing it this weekend. I'm waiting for my new computer to come in. Once that comes in, I will download Hypermall and I will do a full tutorial. I'm going to do the whole process just live. Not live, but like in a video. And then I'll show you guys the entire process and I'll let you know my opinion at the end of that for sure. And I'm going to be, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. If it's good, if it's bad, that's what you're going to get from that video. But it's looking like it's probably going to be next week. I'll probably do the video this weekend. If I got to find time, guys, got to find time. Point Mate is here. He says, my bot is working hard to find Satoshi's keys. Cash is becoming obsolete. El Salvador is doing okay. So if somebody eventually gets into Satoshi's account, obviously Satoshi has 22,000 different wallets. So it's going to take you a long time to send those Bitcoins out, 50 Bitcoin each wallet. What do you think about that, dude? Do you think it's possible for somebody to be able to do that?
To send, yeah,
like to actually get into his wallet there.
So this is the whole. I don't even want to get deep into this, but it's the whole quantum computing situation because how can you upgrade those wallets to be quantum resistant? That's the big thing they're trying to figure out. But I mean, I have faith that the core developers know how to mitigate this, right? But I don't think any random person right now that's using any hacker type of stuff can get into all that.
But think about that though, right? So Satoshi basically has the very first wallet, which was it was like part of the core system. So Bitcoin Core came out, Bitcoin Core had its own wallet in there. Satoshi was using those wallets in there. Let's just say that computer's destroyed, smashed, whatever. How do you attack the wallet vector? Like, how do you even? First off, how do you find the public key? And even, I mean, I guess you can find a public key through one of the mempools and stuff like that. But then all you have is a public key. There is no computer. There is no wallets, right? It's all destroyed. How do you even?
There's no. What do you mean? There's no wallets?
Like there's no software wallet with those wallets on there. There's no like, yeah. I mean,
yeah, but you could still download a Bitcoin wallet with the information and put it in.
But all you have is the public key, though. You know what I mean? And you're gonna sit there all day long. Like, it's not like I can go and grab your public key and say I'm gonna try to keep getting into this wallet, right? I'm gonna have to just keep trying different private keys. Like, that's what the software is gonna do. It's gonna just keep trying private key. Okay, nothing in there. Try a private key. Oop, nothing in there. And it's gonna need to do that. You gotta remember, there's billions of Bitcoin wallets.
Yeah, but
even with that, I still think it's gonna be
because you can do all of them like simultaneously though, and then it finds the answer for you. You know what I'm saying? So it tries all those like billions and billions. It's not a binary computer processor that works in zeros and ones that says, okay, like, which can be very fast, but they have 1,000 possibilities in front of them. They try them one by one. With quantum computing, you try them all at the same time.
Yeah, I know, but you can't pick that public key and go after that one. You're just going to have to go after every Bitcoin address, period, and just kind of get lucky that there's Bitcoin in there. You know what I mean? But you can't just go after one public key. You got to keep trying. You got to try a billion different private keys. You don't know if that's Dan Held's wallet. You don't know if that's this person's wallet, Satoshi's wallet. You just don't know. And you're extracting that Bitcoin.
And I'm not like quantum computer scientist or anything. I'm just going off of what I've heard is that that's where it saves the time. And they say that scientists research and stuff is going to be a lot assisted, like how developers are using AI right now. They're going to be using quantum computing to be able to test stuff. We don't have to do animal testing anymore. That kind of stuff goes out of the window because you can now test solutions if they're right or wrong. But we're far away from that. We're very,
Yeah,
very
but
far away from that.
I get it though, but you still can't pick. So I'm gonna go with Satoshi's wallet. You just got to try and get in everyone's.
I mean,
right?
if someone's malicious, though, they're gonna just try to get whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna, but that's what. So you like people get. You can't be worried about getting into Satoshi's wallet. I mean, if you get lucky enough to where one of the quantum it kind of gets that private key from, and that it is Satoshi's private key, right? What this quantum computer is going to do, it's going to keep trying. But you don't know if, like, when you're taking 50 Bitcoin, whether that's Satoshi's or whether it's Dan Held's, right? Like, you're just going to keep trying and trying and trying and trying. Oh wow,
Yeah,
there's 50 Bitcoin. There's 100 Bitcoin. There's 1,000 Bitcoin.
We'll have a different problem at that point.
Well, yeah, we'll have to worry about our bank.
Well, that too.
I still think it's easier to hack a bank than it is a Bitcoin wallet, but
yeah, I mean the banks and all the Bitcoin wallets that aren't quantum resistance, but we're also talking about something that's not in society. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
my point was that you can't just go after Satoshi's wallet. You can just keep trying and get into. It could be my wallet. It could be your wallet. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Matt says, smash that fire. Yes, smash that like. Yes, sir. Vic Abad is here. This is a great episode. As always, appreciate the show. Cheers. Dog of the moon. Yes, thank you so much, Vic. I think it's your first time. No. I think you made roll call before. I appreciate you definitely being here today. KDN is here. Shout out to KDN. Ian Williams. Someone new, man. Your first time making roll call. Appreciate you, my friend. Shout out to you. Glass Hopper is here. He said, good morning. Shout out to Glass Hopper each and every day. Appreciate you, my friend. Hydro Sapien says, dog, go to the moon. Then Rick G is here. Long live Bitcoin. Hey, where's the rest of it, bro? Long live BRC20s. Long live Runes. We remember, bro. We remember. Hillbilly says, good morning. I'm packed and ready for the moon. Yes. Shout out to Hillbilly. KDN says, I think our cycles are effed up now since we are getting a retirement money now, but it should end at the beginning of 2026. In the beginning of 2026. Okay, so you're kind of going with that 2017 cycle, 2016, 2017 cycle. Yeah, I can see that. KDN says PumpFun is cancer. Then Anthony Paldino says PumpFun has was a huge role. Yeah, in a lot of different ways as well. 100%. All right, guys, time to get into our next segment here. So every Tuesday, we are lucky enough to have the guys over from Artura. We talk about Artura every single day. They power our Bitcoin price action. But these guys are truly building something special. They're building on Botonics, the spider chain, and they're also building on Hemi. You have to remember, these are Bitcoin L2s. They are helping power the Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem with a really amazing tool that is a leverage trading platform. But I think that's only the beginning for these guys. They're going to be a lot more than that, and I can't wait for them to launch probably within the next coming weeks, maybe months, but it should be soon. But we're going to get more details on that right now. Let's bring up Instant. Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me. Just solo today. Appreciate. I tuned in for the talk of the quantum computing. I think that's really, really interesting. When I was at the conference out in Vegas, I actually met like a lot of guys who were a lot smarter than me that were discussing it and trying to make sure that, Bitcoin and all the keys and everything remain safe from this aspect. But it's a real worry. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from there.
How'd you leave that conversation? Did you feel better about it, or were you kind of nervous when you left?
The guy was trying to explain to me in technical terms, like,
Gotcha.
That was way over my head. He seemed like he was very deeply concerned about it, and I wasn't smart enough to follow all like the technical points that he was trying to make. But I think it's going to be kind of like a wild time. Yeah, I think like I forget, was it Yagobi? I think like kind of what you were saying, or was it Chizzy, that like, if the quantum computing is coming out, I think we're going to have like, potentially a lot greater security risks than like just Bitcoin. It's probably going to like bleed into every facet of society.
Yeah, for sure. And we all know that there's like teams that are solely focused on this. So I feel okay about it. Obviously, I say that now in 2025. I say let's enjoy this bull run if we get it.
Exactly.
Right. So speaking of enjoying this bull run if we get it, you guys are constantly building. You guys are getting ready for this mainnet launch. I know that there's a lot that goes into that, right? From the technical aspect to kind of the community building. How has it been for you guys lately? What's been the main focus?
Yeah, I mean, I think like everybody is, at least on the L2 side, like very fired up. I obviously we haven't hit like a new all-time high yet. Again, I think some people were predicting that like a little bit ago, but I think we're still in like a pretty good range, I would say. Yeah, and I think everybody on the L2 side is just getting ready to prepare some big announcements and big launches. Like I know Hemi that we're talking to is they're gonna get ready to do potentially like an incentive program over there. We're gonna start our incentive program for points, which is XP, very very soon. And then obviously we're gonna be launching on mainnet on both Botanics and Hemi very soon as well. So, if you're, kind of like at a place right now where, you're not really moving into too many different options or, you're not really like to make moves on buying anything, like now is like a good time to kind of get into the Bitcoin L2 space and start preparing to farm some of those chains launching.
Yeah, that's smart. Shizzy has a new phrase for that. Do you want to tell him?
Yeah, it's air farming. It's kind of
Air farming.
Air farming.
Yep.
So let's get rid of the airdrop out of there, because the reason is that because a lot of these things aren't incentivized, right? So by using something like Botanics or using something like Hemi, potentially you're going to be farming incentives, and that incentives could be weekly, it could be monthly, it could be one time. You just don't know. But I think everyone should at least try, right?
Yeah, that's a good saying too. But yeah, I think everyone's like really excited. A bunch of communities are being activating. So, right now is like a really good time to start preparing for, all these like different pools to launch. And, if you're not buying Bitcoin, this is the moment. But yeah, speaking of which too, we also have like our pre-mainnet campaign. We've spoken on this before, but we have our token ARA, which is, going to be launching in the near future post mainnet. And, we're giving away 50K ARA for users to complete just some basic social quests, some exclusive Discord roles, and also some USDT raffles available as well. So if people are bored in the meantime during this a little bit kind of slow phase right now that we're in, yeah, like jump on us. Like we're going to be launching soon, unlocking the degen underbelly of Bitcoin and just moving on from there.
Exciting stuff, man.
100%. Before we get into the updates, I just have a question for you. Somebody who's, you're in the know, right? You're definitely aware of a lot of different things. What are you doing personally to take advantage of some of these opportunities coming up on these Bitcoin L2s? Like, what is your game plan? Because I know, everyone's kind of like in the sense of air farming, right? But is there anything that you're kind of thinking about, or maybe you can tell the audience about? Maybe you're planning on doing personally, not anything to do with Artura, but you personally.
Yeah, I mean, for one, I mean, I'm farming all the chains, definitely gonna be farming, all the chains that have a points program. I mean, it's kind of like, I think all of them are trying to make it like not very gatekeepy as well. And I think everyone that we've spoken to is like trying to be very generous. So, I mean, if something's coming out, like you might as well. I think like now is like a perfect time too. Meme, if you're not like in fart coin, I don't know, I don't see like too many meme coins that are like super hot to get into. People are talking about like alts right now, and like there's some like definitely some plays there, but I feel like right now is like just a really good time to start like kind of like air farming. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Love
I
it.
agree, man. I like Shizzy should seriously like create a separate like just course on air farming itself, because
I don't have the time, bro. You tell me to do stuff.
Well, yeah, but okay, so the Bitcoin layer 2 ecosystem has been talked about since early 2024, and it's been built out. Like it's been building out this entire time, and we kind of know who the Fugazis were. They're no longer building. I'm not going to put any names out there, but now we kind of know these Bitcoin layer 2s that are coming. Recently, PumpFun's X account has kind of been shut down along with the founder and stuff. So maybe some of the attention is going to be shifting to Bitcoin layer 2s. Is that a thought process at all that you're hearing? I know that just happened recently, but do you see that as an opportunity possibly for Bitcoin layer 2s?
I feel like just as like reading the pulse, I feel like the PumpFun audience is like much more segmented than the Bitcoin audience. I mean, I do like see some crossovers between, but a lot of people that I talk to are like more like on ETH or Bitcoin, kind of just in general, like ordinals, runes, those communities as well. I think they're more open. I think like the PumpFun community is like very I don't know, it's very like degen oriented and like gambling, like to be honest. So I don't know. I think like the Bitcoin, the L2s right now and farming there is like a lot like safer play than just like buying into like a bunch of like PumpFun projects. Yeah,
Gotcha. Well, I think one thing is the liquidity that was being focused over there, right?
for sure.
And so that's what I guess I mean more. Do you see a liquidity kind of being spread out more? The fact that they possibly won't come back to X because of the allegations and stuff that are happening.
Mhm.
I see it as an opportunity for Bitcoin layer 2 to kind of take the spotlight and say, hey, look, this is what we have to offer. If you're tired of going through this kind of factory of worthless tokens constantly being launched every second, there's more substance over here.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good narrative to push. Just in general, I don't know if like the L2s have embraced that yet, but I mean, like that's definitely an angle that I think they should. I think like one of the things like with Botanics specifically too is like I think their community is like 2 years old at this point, like fully organic. Like they really put a lot of time to like trying to develop like a real like bluegrass or or grassroots kind of like ecosystem and community. So yeah, I think like that's like definitely like a lot of these L2s with these like organic communities. I think like I would be paying attention to because they've put like so much time and effort into like trying to be like the real deal, like not pulling all those like cutting corners and like being trying to like inflate their numbers. Which I think is like combining sort of that like sentiment, organic sentiment with like a lot of the new liquidity from PumpFun. I think would be like a really good option for them. But that I don't think they've explored yet. So maybe that's something that we have to start doing.
Yeah, for sure. That's exciting though that they're not trying to manipulate these numbers in terms of community and stuff like that, and you want to kind of have that transparent growth that you see, and you might be like, oh wow, that's a little bit smaller than I expected, but it's real, right?
Yeah.
It's not this fake it till you make it. And honestly, like sometimes like Shizzy and I will be like, man, how does that person have that many followers or how many viewers? But then you see the comments and stuff and you're like, okay, something that we also wanted to stand by is our organic growth. And that's cool that they're doing that. But yeah, so let's kind of get back into Artura here. We met some of the experienced traders. We had Ace on last week, I think. Yeah, and that was really cool to see him and his community really kind of come and show up for him. They were all in the chat, and they were just like, like cheering him on and all this stuff. Is that the kind of community that you guys are trying to build? Like traders like that, learning from traders like that, but also showing that community support?
Yeah, I think there's like a two-edged sword to this, is that we're like trying to bring actual value to our community outside of just like the perp decks, where it's like educating them on how to trade, like what are good options, how to be like safe when trading to not get liquidated, which are like in some ways like counter to our objectives as like a perp decks. But that's what we're trying to do, like our due diligence, and like really try to like reward the community just for like being within the ecosystem by giving like expert advice from people that are doing like 7 figs volume on other dexes and eventually our decks once we go to mainnet as well. So that's like a big thing, just like getting like real good advice for people are trading in the future. But I mean, we're also just trying to reward like people, like even if you're not into trading, like you can still like set up a referral program, and like if your friends trade, you can generate potentially some like revenue from there, or if you like don't want to like do anything at all and just want to like deposit some stables in a vault and make earn some like passive yield from like trading fees, like that's something that you can do too. So we're trying to reward like people that are like hardcore traders, people that are kind of just lazy and want to make money, and people that have like a good network as well.
I love that.
Yeah, man.
Love that.
Me too. 100%. So we do know that you guys have something going on with another app. Do you guys want to talk about that a little bit?
Would that be the Galaxy campaign?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's so it's a preseason rewards that we're going live with, just some basic social quests, and you can earn points in our leaderboard. These are going to translate into our token ARA eventually. So we're going to go to mainnet, and we're going to have like a huge like points program available. But if you want to start earning now and getting in onto the ecosystem like right before everything like truly kind of blows up and everybody starts like getting in, it might be a little harder to start earning in between the competitions that go on. Like this is like the perfect time to get involved.
Yeah, and I love that you're using this, because I use this every day. I'm actually a subscriber to this because I'm a degen and I have nothing else better to do. So I've been doing a lot of the quest, and I do love when all I have to do is go there and retweet or comment. Like I basically have a second Twitter burner Twitter that I can just go and do all this stuff
Mhm.
with, because I don't want to log up my Shizzy account or
Exactly.
the OnChain Revolution account. So I do have a second Twitter, just a burner one with a burner email, and I come here and I definitely do all the farming and stuff like that. So you guys are on here now, or this is coming in the next couple days?
Oh no, we just launched. So today was the first day you can get involved. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you can come here and basically pump in Artura potentially.
Yep. Or you should be on there.
There you go, right there. Artura $100 Twitter raffle, Artura Discord rolls, and then this is something else. But you guys have these two already.
Yeah, we'll have the points will translate into our token, based on where your position is, and then we'll have 6 raffles throughout the next coming weeks for people to participate in. So even if you didn't win this one, we'll have 5 more after.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely, guys. Take advantage of this, guys. You're only seeing 52 participants on this one, 5 participants on this one. It's something brand new. I want every one of you guys right now to go over to app.galxz.com. And if you guys are interested, this is the app that I use every morning. I do about 20 to 30 minutes of farming. I go to the site. I do a lot of social. The social stuff is super easy. They have a little task for you guys to do different type of stuff. But get involved with this and make sure you guys do the Artura thing. And this should be really fun. Like I said, 5 participants, guys. Let's jack this up. Let's get this to 100 real quick. But Aiden, man, thank you so much. Do you have any other updates or anything else for us?
No, all good. Yeah, we're gonna have like some more cool trader stuff coming out too. So for everybody who wants to learn to be an expert trader, just follow our Twitter. We're gonna have more alpha updates dropping in Discord. Lots of stuff going on. It's an exciting time to be part of the Artura community.
For sure. I got one last question before I let you go. We got the crazy dog army in here listening right now. So is Dog Go to the Moon on the roadmap to be on Artura?
It is on the roadmap.
Let's go. You heard it. You heard
Big fans of the dog army.
Yeah, man. So is that going to be a day one? I mean, I like to take it a little further.
It's on the roadmap. I can't make any promises day one. It's on the roadmap. We want to be true to our roots in the ordinals and runes community by offering hot runes on our decks to leverage trade as well.
Awesome.
If the dog army tweets at you every single day, can we put that at the top of the list?
if they tweeted us every single day, yes.
Uh-oh.
You heard them, guys. Get after them at Artura and that hashtag dog. Make sure you guys are doing it. But Instant, thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. That was absolutely awesome. I do have a few more things if you're cool with that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So FluidTokens on Bitcoin, Alkane staking is the first step. And then they have this: borrow BTC against your Alkanes, CH4, which I think is methane, diesel, and mist. So they're going to be letting you borrow against your Alkanes, but a little worried about doing that because of liquidations and stuff. But how do you feel about Fluid actually being, taking the reins? We knew that they would. We had no indication that they were going to, but we knew once they we saw that the WASM March contracts were happening. We knew Raul was like, this is his
field. For sure, because having the logic and computation into lending and borrowing is what he's used to, instead of having this kind of just one transaction that might trigger this, and that's where it stops. With these smart contracts, you can do multiple things, and I think he is probably excited to play with this, right? Because to him, it's like a brand new shiny toy. He's used to programming, like computation, logic, and stuff. So this is no surprise here. I expect this to be, probably they're gonna add more features to this and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we're seeing a huge hit today, though. You're seeing Alchemist back down to 2.3. This was at 3.1 million yesterday. It's a lot more than that 15% showing. Methane down to 27 million. It was at 29 yesterday. You're seeing B kind of get hit again today. B's down to 500K. This thing was at 1.1 before Alchemist launched. So I am down on that pretty badly at this point, at least half. And then Diesel kind of just being what Diesel does. Diesel is just sideways and down. This thing was at 50 million about a month and a half ago. But as you can see, more coins are coming in. The less Diesel is down. Diesel is basically Rune Zero. You can mine it every day by just minting it, right? So that's kind of why it's down. But Silicon XYZ is down almost 40% here. This one got hit hard. This one was I don't know what it is, but it was one of the ones with utility I'm hearing. But I got to do some research into that one. But it's sitting at 164,000. But there's opportunity here. But I actually called this. I said once we see more tweets from Kraken, once we see more things happening with runes, you're going to see money come out of this and actually go into some runes. We saw that yesterday, especially Runestone. Really, really exciting what is happening there. So we'll kind of get into that next. But how do you feel about Fluid first, and then some of these outcomes?
Well, Fluid, not surprised. They probably got excited, like I mentioned before. The Alkanes pulling back. I mean, 3.1 to 2.4 is not too bad considering the market, right? I mean,
It's
you're looking
35%, right?
yeah, but you're also seeing Bitcoin dump pretty hard, right? I'm sure if we went to the runes,
we'll
side,
get to that. I'll do it.
yeah, you know, like we'll see pullbacks there as well. So, the more interesting thing.
So.
Maybe not. I mean, Kraken's been on it, right? Kraken has been on. They keep talking about Rune June. I mean, like, here's the thing, man. Like, honestly, without Dog, I don't know where Runes would be, because Kraken is in love with Dog. Obviously, they know that community is strong, and people are starting to see that are not in the Bitcoin Runes ecosystem. And they just keep posting that. That's like the Pokemon thing, right?
It is. A wild dog appears. Like, this is the exact. I mean, look at the leg. This is the only, like, you know what I mean? It's like, this is the Kraken Pro. And then before that, I gotta find it up here. But then you had them post about Runestone, right from the actual Kraken account, the Kraken FX account. So I mean, dude, like, I don't know. And that, look, their one post had 400,000 views on.
Yeah,
like these are giant Twitter accounts here.
Yeah, no, they are for sure. And they know it, they realize it. And I know other centralized exchanges see this, because like this is the most engagement that Kraken has given Dog and Runes. And it started, I mean, like, it's like every day now at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and so look, Doge was a growth hack for Robinhood. And Dog could be a growth hack for Kraken, right? So
no, 100%. They're the one of the few companies actually taking advantage of it, right? And you're like HotX posted Dog today. Like, they had a pit. Well, it was about meme coins, but Dog was one of the meme coins in there, right? So everyone's paying attention right now, and everyone's paying attention to Runes and Kraken. So I do love Alkanes. I think the hype is definitely necessary. I think they're very hyped up, but it took Runes an entire year to kind of get where it is right now, right? So and then, you know, they're posting about Runestone, right? So my question for you, seeing that Runestone post from yesterday, will they do an airdrop to Runestone holders? I mean, we saw potentially someone came out and said, hey, there's a Kraken rune. Anybody could have created that, right? So I'm not going to say anyone created that, but in the sense of, do you think something like that is possible? Maybe Leonidas makes a deal with them, like, hey, you guys drop a rune, airdrop the Runestone holders, and this could be the Kraken. Kraken doesn't have any type of token, right? You're seeing, you know, you have Binance Smart Chain and all that. Kraken doesn't really have anything. What do you think about potentially Kraken dropping a rune and airdropping it to Runestone holders and making it that second airdrop that Leonidas promised 3 from?
I think first, if that's true and it actually happens, which, I mean, I am someone that is, I got to see it, right? So I'm going to say there's not like a high percentage in my mind that's going to happen, but if it does, it's game changing. Also, we don't know what they built completely for the Runes infrastructure side of things. I'm actually getting a little giddy in terms of like, what has Kraken actually built to support Runes, because I feel like it could be bigger than we think.
Yeah, 100%. Like, what if they list Dog and then they say, hey, you can buy any rune through Kraken?
Yeah, right. And that's a whole nother game. Now you're talking about the pancake swap approach with Binance Alpha tokens, right?
Yeah.
And Base with Arrow, whatever they're doing, right? So there's a strategy, and then Bybit comes out and says they're doing a Solana DEX, right? So there's a strategy for every centralized exchange, tier 1 centralized exchange so far, at least, to have some sort of direct access to decentralized tokens. And I don't know. I mean, like, and the thing to me that gets me really excited is if you think about every cycle, there's always a centralized exchange that comes up, starts to rise above. Last cycle, it was unfortunately FTX, right? But they were hot in terms of like momentum. Kraken has an opportunity. Now, obviously, we hope for a different turnout. Like, Kraken has, just strength, but then manages their business correctly, all that stuff, right? And they become this huge centralized exchange. That's going to benefit the Bitcoin ecosystem if they have this infrastructure here. And so, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of possibilities here, and there's a lot of possibilities to kind of shut up the haters that, like, to be fair, had a lot of right to kind of crap on runes and stuff in the past, because 100%. Of the performances, whether like from the launch or whatever. But this to me, like, I feel like Kraken's like new. It's like that hot new centralized exchange in the US, and it could really thrive off of this narrative and help push the narrative in at the same time help its growth as well.
Yeah, and Kraken needs something. They need to be different, right? You don't want to go the route of potentially of going to Solana or going to Binance or going to Base, right? Obviously, they don't have their own chain, but what if they adopt Bitcoin? What if they adopt Bitcoin and runes as their standard of choice, right? What if they do launch a token and that token is a rune, right? And then they airdrop that to their holders on, all the users on Kraken, but then also airdrop it to everyone holding a Runestone or everyone holding Dog. What if this is a massive airdrop from the Kraken team that potentially could be absolutely huge for them, because now they become an asset on a chain with $2 trillion. I mean, if Kraken dropped a coin, can we both agree that it's a $200 million coin tomorrow?
Well, it depends if there's like a pre-sale, but if they do an airdrop, which that's where I kind of get a little bit like, I don't think that's gonna happen, because if it's a coin for your brand or whatever, right?
Let's just say it's a meme coin.
Okay, so that's different. I don't know about 200 million, but not tomorrow, but eventually, yes. I mean, that'd be cool if it was like a Kraken, like the Kraken is the Kraken, right? Like the giant octopus or whatever, right? As the actual token. See, I don't want to. I'm just gonna stop there. I'm gonna stop there because, like,
we're speculating, right?
I know, I know. I just don't want to get too excited about something that's probably not gonna happen. But
I'm just saying. But think of the possibilities. Think of the possibilities of. So, what does something like that do for Kraken? Right, dropping a rune. That gets them on every page. That gets them on CoinDesk.
What does it do? What does it do for runes? It almost solidifies that standard.
100%. Dog goes to $1 billion. I think, like, a couple days of that.
Couple days. I think market conditions still have to be a little bit better.
If Bitcoin's over 110,000, dog.
Yeah. I agree with that. And then I think Kraken starts to like catch it. See, I'm already talking about it like it exists. See, you got.
I'm just saying, but it's good to use your imagination though, because this is definitely something that is possible, right? So, but what else could this be? Why else? Unless it's just engagement farming, I guess you would say, right?
I mean,
why post this?
I mean, engagement farming is definitely a part of the game, right? So I don't know. I don't think that's what they're about anymore. I mean, they've got too many people in the community like bought into everything. Like, honestly, like I want to like use Kraken. Like this whole experience, like, it makes me want to use Kraken more.
I opened an account.
See, that's what I'm talking about, right? So it's actually smart that they're doing this, because they can help it go viral at the same time, get more users and stuff like that. So we'll see what the game plan is, because I think parts of it's gonna be revealed very soon.
Yeah, 100%, dude. June 16th, 438,000 views.
Yep. And don't forget, like Marlin's on the roadmap too to get listed on Kraken too. So they're about the Bitcoin ecosystem. So
yeah, 100%. A few more things to hit on real quickly. Solana ETF approval odds by July 1st have jumped from 63% to 76% in the past 24 hours. So this is something that I've been talking about for a while, is that July 15th day. That is a day that we could see potentially 15 to 25 ETFs get approved. 9 of them could be Solana. right? 6 of them could be Doge, a couple of them could be Cardano. We might see some XRP. It really depends on what happens. What do you think happens? Do you think it's just a Solana day, or do you think potentially we could see multiple, or do you think maybe they'll just do one at a time?
Well, I mean, they could do one at a time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really just guessing on that, right? If they're holding off all of them though, then it seems like they want to probably do them kind
Well,
of in bunches.
So the surge in Solana ETF approval odds from 63.76 was driven by 2 key developments. The first one was the SEC requested updated S1 filings from issuers, signaling regulatory engagement and progress in the review process. They really haven't done this for any of the other ETFs yet. Besides XRP, they have done XRP. In response, multiple asset managers quickly amended their Solana ETF applications right away, within 7 firms submitting updates in the past few days.
Well, they did do it with Bitcoin, I think. A couple of them. They did make them
they
have
did it
a
with
new
Bitcoin, and they did it with Ethereum.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So right now they've done it with Solana and XRP so far. They haven't really asked Doge, they haven't asked Litecoin, they haven't asked anyone else to change their S1 filings at all, unless they're already good.
So does it mean that like they're gonna knock those out first, probably?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking July 15th could be Solana.
Or they're already good. The other ones are already good. I think it's more of because they did multiple. Then they just knock. Well, they'll get Solana out of the way first.
Doge and Litecoin are proof of work. So I think the proof of stake coins are the ones I think they're more concerned about because they want to make sure the staking is something different and not. I think that's maybe why they're kind of going after some of these proof of stake ones more than the proof of work, because proof of work is easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as Bitcoin. You just copy and paste Bitcoin for the proof of work. I mean that's what they are, right? So Litecoin and Doge are basically forks of each other and forks of Bitcoin. Yeah. So,
but either way, at the end of the day, like once you start to fire off of approvals, I think that's a trigger. I'm gonna say it again for alt season.
Alt season, baby, it's coming. It's coming. Next thing here, Eric Trump denies involvement in Tron's public venture, despite calling himself the biggest fan of Justin Sun. I think Justin Sun was a little bit too happy about the public and said Eric Trump's involved, and Eric Trump's dude, chill, bro. I gotta control some stuff first. Like, don't. So the Trump seemed very aware of their image. Yeah, and hesitant to just jump in bed with everybody, even though they might say behind closed doors, "Hey, this is my plan." But just not hesitant to do it publicly. Do you think that's what this is, or do you think that he's really has no intentions of joining Justin Sun in this Tron DAO?
I don't know. Like, but something's going on, right? We know that Justin Sun is a big holder of the Trump 555 token. Yeah. So I wonder if maybe, but he had to have gotten some sort of confirmation. So it might be, hey, chill out with like the announcements and stuff like that. Let's wait till a better time. I don't know. Yeah, but it is weird to me, and there's a lot of people that are on crypto Twitter that are like not happy with the Trump organization and how they're handling crypto right now.
They're moving fast and they're breaking things, which is good in tech, but maybe not so good when your dad's president. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know. I think maybe this might have been a call down from the Trump administration. Like, you don't put Eric's name on this yet. Like, it's not a good time to be doing this.
Yeah. Or do you think people call him up and be like, "Hey, can you get your dad to?" No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, possibly. I mean, I would. Wouldn't you? I would.
No, if I was... he's the president. Like, that's different. He's not the president of the company. He's the president of the United States.
100%. JPMorgan files cryptocurrency trademark JPMD for trading and payment services. So they're going a different route than most crypto companies. They're actually filing a trademark for the anyway. It just shows you that these dudes have no idea what happens in crypto. Anyone can make a JPMD. It doesn't matter if you trademark it. Like, you're not seeing Circle or Coinbase. Like,
I know, but but technically they could. They could like
reinforce that.
Well, I mean, anybody can file a lawsuit. So
anyone can make a coin.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, you file the lawsuit, then the judge will assess if it deems that it needs to go to court or whatever, and then that person has to be called to court to show up or whatever. So I mean, look, you got to remember that these type of corporations and entities, they're used to being able to strong arm, right? So what's the first thing, like standard procedure? If you create a new product, you're going to make it proprietary or trademark. And that's exactly what I think is happening here, especially with the I think this has to do with the stable coin too, doesn't it?
No, this could be their
payments.
You don't know what this is. JPMD could be their stablecoin. Yeah,
gotcha.
JPMorgan, or it could be their chain token. Could be their gas token.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about.
So you just don't know. They haven't really said what this is, but it's for payments and trading. So, all right, moving along here. Bank of America has named Bitcoin one of the greatest innovations of the past 1,000 years. I mean, we're talking about the wheel. All right, we're talking about the internet. We're talking about I mean, I'm down for it, right? But they're comparing it, the impact to the internet and electric vehicles. I mean, you got to remember, 1,000 years ago, 100 years ago, we didn't have a car. And like, I love Bitcoin, but I think the car was pretty amazing innovation.
Well, you had to have the wheel before the car, right? And then this to me is just like a lame statement, because Bitcoin's been around since it's been around since 2009. They've known about it. They fought it. They fought Bitcoin and crypto initially, but now it's the greatest invention of the past 1,000 years, right? So
I mean, if this isn't they fought Bitcoin and Bitcoin won. I mean, I don't know what else is. That's what I got from this. I got from congratulations, Bitcoin, you beat us.
Yeah, that kind of statement.
Yep. And the final thing I have here is Coinbase seeks SEC approval to offer blockchain-based stocks, and
that's going to be
interesting. If this gets approved, it can go live as quickly as July. That's what I'm kind of seeing.
Yeah, but I think this is going to probably take some time, right? Because this is not like an ETF approval. This is digitizing stocks, and then what is the value going to be based off? Are they going to run off of an oracle that gives them the price from the NYSE?
Well, the market will price it, right, with arbitrage. So all you got to do is the same thing you do with a stable coin. You back it 1-to-1 with a piece of stock. You know, because each stock it's a piece of paper at the end of the day, right? It's a file, and then you just 1-to-1 it, and then the market kind of picks the price and creates arbitrage.
Yeah, and it's going to be centralized platforms that can offer it, because you can't take it off, you know, chain and all these things. I mean, take it to another, bridge it to another chain, or use it in another platform.
You could.
I mean, I don't know. That would be really cool, because then if you take supply out of stocks, that could shoot stocks up. You know,
well, 100%, and then potentially, you know, you can put, let's just say, MicroStrategy with Bitcoin in an LP pool. How freaking cool is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
You could, you really could. You could do anything.
I would put something else with Bitcoin. I feel like
think MicroStrategy and Bitcoin would be a great LP, because I don't care if you dump your MicroStrategy in there, right? Because I'm happy taking that, and I'm okay with you dumping your Bitcoin in there and taking my MicroStrategy. I'm okay either way.
Yeah, but what if it's both? Like, if one suffers, the other suffers too.
Well, I mean, either way they do, so it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's definitely.
I want options to be more widely accessible, which I don't know. I haven't used Deribit, but I want to check out Deribit. But I think options and RWAs like that are going to be. Oh, I mean, and like this is going to be cool too, though. Like if this gets. And the funny thing is, this was attempted like without approval, you know, with Mirror, and it didn't work out because you got to have a lot of backing to do something like this, and Coinbase is probably the perfect entity to do it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's who. I mean, that's
the only one. Yeah,
that's the only. I mean, Kraken.
Ondo.
Maybe. I mean, you got like Kraken has stocks now. You can buy stocks on Kraken.com. So I mean, potentially they could tokenize them. So
yeah,
who knows? But yeah, man, that is our show today. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We have 343 people on YouTube and X, not to mention everyone on Twitch, Abstract, Rumble, Kick, and Spotify later. We appreciate every single one of you guys, man. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for watching. We had a good number on YouTube today. We haven't seen 40 live streamers in a while, so thank you all 40 of you guys. We're about 30 right now, but we hit 40 today. It's been a few months. It does show me that the markets are getting bullish again by these numbers that are going up, or that our shorts are doing really well. So I don't know either one, but I'm very happy that you got more and more YouTube guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today.
Absolutely. Without you guys, we couldn't do the show, and we remind you guys every day because that's how much we appreciate y'all. But if you could check out our partners, we would also appreciate it, as they also support us to be, able to do this on a day-to-day basis. And Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. If you're going to swap for rooms, you got to go to satsterminal.com to do it. You can actually earn Amber points for their upcoming alpha. I'll put in quotes there for Air Farm, that Shizzy likes to say. But yeah, they're gonna find the most liquid tokens, the best price there, and it's lightning fast, right? So you can swap for Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, etc. in terms of runes, and they also offer Alkane support now. So make sure you guys are taking advantage of that. And then tomorrow we're gonna have the team on with us for their Sats Terminal segment. Think 1 inch in terms of the aggregator of Ethereum, but for the Bitcoin ecosystem, which is about to get really lively. I truly believe that. And I still believe that it's going to be the biggest narrative of this cycle, because we got some time left in the cycle. But anyways, head over to satsterminal.com, dive into their docs, join their community, and make sure you tune in tomorrow for that segment. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin's tech stack for you guys to be able to place bets in their markets. You can start off with their Blitz markets. Their Blitz markets is a 10-minute market that you're able to kind of lock in a price that you think it's going to go either up or down from in Bitcoin, BNB, or Solana, and then an additional 10-minute countdown to see if you were correct or wrong in that. In the future, you're going to be able to create your own markets and earn 1.5% of the total volume there. So that's really exciting, as well as refer a friend that you can earn 1% of their total transactions, and bet with friends that you can kind of do some private betting with within the social network that's in this system here. Really exciting times, guys. Head over to betbtc.win to dive into their docs and learn more about them today. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump your Bitcoin ordinals, like your Taproot Wizards, you can do right now from Bitcoin layer 1 to Ethereum, and you can actually put a loan against it on Gandhi, take out some USDC or USDT. And then you're going to be able to also do that with Abstract, Base, Merlin, Bitcoin layer 2, and eventually Solana is the idea. And you might be able to use Agent AI Hustle sooner than you think to help you actually get those ordinals to Solana. But right now you can use Agent Hustle to help you kind of navigate through the jungles of Solana. I use Hustle to kind of research tokens on Solana to help me maybe make a swap. He can do those DeFi functions as well. And there's going to be the conditional trading that's coming very soon, which I'm super excited about. You can kind of set an instruction with Hustle to say, hey, I want to get into fart coin when it pulls back 20% from the current price, and I want to have an exit plan once it jumps up 40% from that entry that I got in. And you can go touch grass, go to the weight room or whatever. You don't have to worry about it, and then it'll execute it on your behalf. So exciting times for Hustle. And then don't forget, they do have a TGE rune for I think September, October this year for the entire ecosystem. Is called M. You can actually go to OpenSea and participate right now in a pre-sale for that. All you got to do is go to OpenSea, search Emblem Founder Vault Keys, and you can pick up one of their NFTs, which is the ERC 721. And once we get close to the TGE date, they'll give you instructions on how to get those Bitcoin runes into your Bitcoin wallet. Head over to emblem.vision today to dive in, join their community. Really fun community over there. And this team is OG guys, been building on Bitcoin since 2015. And then Artura Finance, we just talked to them. We talked to Instant, right? They're going to be launching on Hemi, Bitcoin layer 2. And next up is going to be Botonics first. Botonics, the spider chain, which is also another Bitcoin layer 2. They're going to be co-promoting with Botonics. So make sure you're paying attention, because you're going to be able to earn from Botonics as well as the Artura platform. Make sure you join their XP program earlier that we went over there. But yeah, you're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat, possibly Ordi and Sats as well. But the popular tokens outside the ecosystem as well, like XRP, Ethereum, etc. If you don't want to participate in trading, you can actually add liquidity to their vaults and earn passively there. Head over to artura.finance today. And then FluidTokens, we just talked about them a little bit earlier in the show. They are the UTXO wizard devs, started on Cardano with lending and borrowing, still building there, by the way. But they moved over to Bitcoin to offer, the first to offer retail staking vaults. You can stake your dog to earn more dog. Really cool. If you were in the dog season 2, make sure you claim your dog. You can head over to fluidtokens.com, click on the Bitcoin side, and then you can claim your dog tokens. You'll get your original stake dog tokens with the claimed reward as well in one transaction there. And then if you are a founder of a collection and you want to start a staking vault, head over to their Discord. They have a team waiting for you guys to help you get started on that first step of getting that going for your community. But you also can use their airdrop tool that can airdrop runes to your entire community there. You can either add a CSV file from Google Sheets or Excel, or you can do it manually one by one. Really simple, cost effective, and efficient with time as well. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. And then on the Cardano side, they have the Aquarium platform where you can earn Babel fees there. Make sure you go to fluidtokens.com and you can learn about both sides, but join their community as well. Head over to their Discord so you can ask any questions you have. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet for Cardano and Bitcoin, and they have other ecosystems they're going to be adding shortly. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download the app there, or if you have an Android, head over to Google Play. You can download the app that way. Test it out. Let us know what you think, but you can swap for runes directly in the app as they partnered with Sats Terminal, the aggregator for Bitcoin, and you can swap for SNEC on the Cardano side. They partnered with the Cardano aggregator there to kind of do everything in one place. So very useful. They're building for UI and UX. And they also have a little alpha section so you can say what's up to us, because we have our videos there as well as other YouTubers like Cryptos R Us and others there. Head over to Tokyo.io to dive in, join their community, and learn as much as you can in their documents there. And then Merlin Chain is uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. You can utilize their Wizard 0.03 AI to guide you through their ecosystem. The Wizard can actually help you stake, swap, and do multiple DeFi functions there. But speaking of staking, if you head over to merlinchain.io, you can help secure the chain by participating in the proof of stake. They have two options: the flexible, which is a 15% APR. It's a day-to-day, but it does take 7 days to withdraw that. You can actually withdraw your rewards on a day-to-day basis though, or the bonded, which is a 6-month locked staking, and you can earn 45% APR, and you can also withdraw the rewards on a daily basis that way as well. And this team is doing huge things, partnering with huge entities. They are the only Bitcoin entity that's a part of the Wrapped Bitcoin DAO. I think there's only 11 total members of that DAO, including the Uniswaps, the Maker DAOs, etc. And they also are continually growing their MBTC brand along with the Merlin token. As you heard earlier, they are on the roadmap along with Dog Go to the Moon to be listed on Kraken exchange. Head over to merlinchain.io to dive in today. And lastly, our integrated partners in Jungle, previously known as Foxy AI, building the metaverse on Bitcoin called the Bitverse, as well as their first-person shooter game called Cypher Striker. And they have taken on Bitcoin Derby as well. And then Ordinal Hive is the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem, something similar to Sats Terminal, but Ordinals, not fungible tokens. You're going to find the cheapest Ordinals around, and they have a lightning fast experience there. Make sure you're taking advantage of that, as well as their trader tools. We thank you so much for checking out our partnership. Oh, you're on mute.
Well, great job, man, as always. And if you guys have a few more minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution.io, it's some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you guys want to check out this newest article, Pump.Fun, suspended on X, the beginning of the end of the meme coin launchpad. I think so, but that's up for you to decide. Go check out this article right now on OnChainRevolution.io for sure, guys. And then if you guys need a VPN, we have the number one VPN that I use. I love Nord. I've been using it for a long time. This is the only reason why we have this up here, because I truly believe in it. And for you guys, go check it out, because it is $3 a month. There's no reason for you guys to be going to websites with your IP hanging out. It is not illegal to have a VPN. It is not illegal to go to sites that geo-block you, right? That is them doing it. It is not your country. So definitely check out NordVPN and check out everything you guys can get from this. They actually have really cool stuff there too, where they have anti-malware and a whole bunch of other stuff. Check everything out here on our website. Make sure you guys using our link. Don't go to nord.com or whatever it is. Go here because you want to get that 70% off coupon, guys, for sure. And if you guys need merch, just kind of chill at home with, or go to events with, we have some of the best merch, and we can add anything you want. Yo, Shizzy, can you add my Billy Cat? Can you add my puppet? We can add anything for you guys, and other people can buy it. It will just be up here. That'll be really cool for you guys to, if you're interested in doing this, let us know. We can add it for free. And as long as you got to purchase one. I'm just kidding. But definitely check out everything here at OnChain Revolution.io. We did have a few comments in here. I definitely didn't want to leave without saying shout out to Malam Yuri. Great show. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much. And then Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo, he said G-Day fam. That's my guy. Cash Cat says Kraken. Following up with the question for you, Yagobi, what's the channel's preferred cold storage wallet for Bitcoin?
We don't have a preferred one necessarily, but I've used Jade. I like that one.
Yeah.
There's a couple others I know you've used, but that's something that maybe we can get into down the line.
Yeah, for sure. I love the Jade as well. That was one of the ones that I used. But yeah, thank you guys so much. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.